James Rapien back here at Radio Row with Tony Boselli, and let's, I got to be honest with you, Tony, and I want to start, there's a lot I want to ask you about. First, I cover the Bengals.
Yep.
Do you have one game left in you? Because all we've talked about is this offensive line versus that defensive line, and I'm sure the Bengals would love a little reinforcement in the trenches.
You got a couple all-time greats. I'd call Anthony Munoz to go play left and put Willie Anderson on the right.
I called Willie. Yeah, absolutely. I actually want to ask you about Willie. You're a Hall of Fame finalist this year. He is as well. What's that like? What's that feeling like when you find out that you've reached this point?
I mean, it's a huge honor, and this is my sixth year as a finalist, so I've had 5 times and say no, and we'll find out tonight. And then Willie. This is Willie's first time being a finalist, and I'm just so happy for him. He's a great player. Played right tackle. Probably in an era where the right tackle wasn't thought as more of a run grinding type of player, but Willie was great at both. Both as a run blocker, really physical, great athlete, good right tackle. Could have played left tackle. He's that kind of athlete. So rooting for him, and I always root for the big guys, and Willie's one of those.
If you do get in, have you envisioned? I'm sure you've thought about what's going to go through your mind. What do you think that's going to be like if you get that news tonight?
I don't know, because it's.
Or have you just not allowed yourself to go there?
It's impossible not to.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing's humbling, though. I mean, I grew up a big football fan. I mean, and a student, I loved it. I mean, that's all I wanted to do. And so, like, being a part, if I have the opportunity to be a part of the group of men that are in the Hall of Fame, that are, the all-time greats, it'll be humbling to see my name up there, to have a bust if that were to happen, and it'll be a lot of fun for my family. I know they're really excited about the possibility, and they're all here in LA, so hopefully it works out.
Yeah, hopefully it does. I do want to ask you about Willie a little bit more, because he's been on the front lines, I think, social media-wise, talking about the Bengals and respect by the Hall of Fame and all of that. And I think every fan base does that, right? They think certain players should be in the Hall of Fame, but Willie specifically, why do you think that era is that way with the right tackle position? Because I think you're right. I think that's part of it. You get overlooked because he was a right tackle to a degree.
Yeah, because for forever the best pass rushers were the right defensive ends, and it was the blind side, and it was more you needed be more athletic to play on that side. That was what everyone thought, and for a long time that was true. But that doesn't mean there weren't great right tackles. I mean, Leon Searcy, who played with me, played right tackle, was an amazing player. Willie Anderson, if you go watch him play, he could run block and pass block with the best of them. He was a great athlete. So I think it's a little bit, maybe overblown, but I think just if you look at the history of the game, they typically put the best offensive lineman at left tackle. I don't, but the game's changed. And anyone who watched Willie play knows he was a great player. I mean, knows that he was at the top of his game and was dominant. And I love it. You mentioned social media. He's a big proponent for just offensive line play now.
He is. Yeah.
He has an academy or something. He teaches guys. I love it. I mean, I love the fact that he is that passionate about the game of football, because I'm passionate about it, and he's giving back. So, I wish him the best. I never view this as, me against the other 14 guys trying again. It's not about that. This is the 6th time, as I said earlier. The previous 5 times, the 25 guys that got in when I didn't, I never once looked at that group of individuals and said, "Oh, I should be there and he shouldn't be." That's not what it's about. Everyone who's a finalist, it's a huge honor just to do that. And they're all great players, and they all have a great case to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, hopefully you get the nod. Hopefully he gets the call as well, and you can both celebrate together.
That'd be great.
That would be,
more offensive linemen is better.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. And I have an offensive line question. I have a game question for you. How do you think this Super Bowl 56, how do you think it's going to play out? What are the big keys?
Well, if the offensive line can block Aaron Donald and Von Miller, they're going to win the game.
How do you do that?
Well, they haven't blocked anyone lately.
That's right. Right.
I think they got to run the ball a little bit. They got to slow down that rush. And obviously, Joe Mixon did not have a great end of the year. Like, his numbers went down, but he heated up in that Kansas City game, played really well. So I think if they can run the ball, slow the rush down, They got great players, and Joe Burrow's an amazing. And I think the defense is underrated. I mean, they invested a lot in the offseason, and they're getting paid dividends. So as long as Aaron Donald doesn't just take over the game and make it just messy, I think we're in for a really good Super Bowl.
Yeah, I certainly hope so as well. Tell me a little bit about Alkaline 88.
Yeah, it's great. It's I'm happy and excited to partner with them. It's
a cool bottle.
Yeah, it's a cool bottle.
Cool label.
Yeah, 88 represents pH 8.8, so the body absorbs it quicker. I don't know how they do it, but the smart people that make this stuff, former USC guys, one of the founders, which I love, and Shaquille O'Neal's a partner with it. So when I got the opportunity to partner with them, I thought, what a cool thing. You know, hydration is important.
Yeah.
You know, if you're an athlete especially, those guys better be hydrated on the field tomorrow or Sunday at the Super Bowl because it's going to be hot out there.
Yeah.
And when you get older like me, maybe not playing, but, you know, if you want to go celebrate, hopefully good news, you want to stay hydrated beforehand.
That's what I was going to say. You have to hydrate today
hydrate
before tonight.
all day. That's right. So, yeah, it's great to partner with the Alkaline 88, and I'm glad they have me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Tony, this was a pleasure. It was a treat. I appreciate you coming on, and good luck.
Thanks for having me.